Hi, William. I am Jennifer Sands, and I'm with the ARC of Illinois with Rev Up. And I wanted to thank you so much for joining us today and being willing to do this interview and share what you have to about registering and voting. So, first of all, can you tell us maybe your name, where you're from, a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is William Bedford. Some people call me Big Will or BJ, but I would like people to call me William. And also, I am from Chicago, Illinois, near the village of Evergreen Park, but I grew up in Will County around Country Club Hills.
Well, thank you. I also grew up elsewhere and lived in Chicago for a little bit. It's a really great place. Do you have some favorite things you like to do in Chicago?
Yes, what I do like to do is I like to go to Chicago White Sox ballpark.
Awesome. That's really awesome. So we're here today talk about voting and registering and everything. So my first question for you is, do you remember who invited you to register to vote? A lot of us don't, but I'm wondering if you do.
In high school, I learned about voting. My family told me how important it was for me to vote. My mom helped me register to vote when I was 18 years old. My the first election I voted in was in 2012, and I voted for President Barack Obama because I believe he can change America and he will be the first black president of the United States. It is important because black people don't have the right to vote for many years. I was proud that he was a good person, and I believe that he supported people with autism.
Thank you for sharing that. One of the questions I have later talks about representation in voting. So we'll get back to that topic, but I'm glad you shared it because it's really important for us to be able to see ourselves in our leaders um, and to know that our leaders understand in our different communities. Of course, one leader can't understand all the communities, but that's why we have a lot of Congress people and a lot of different kinds of positions so we can get a good diversity. So I'm excited that you got to vote for somebody that you felt represented you. I'm curious, when you registered to vote, do you remember if you did it online or if you filled out a form or maybe went to an office and did it in person?
Well, I believe I did this in office.
And did the process seem pretty straightforward or was it stressful in any way?
Well, it wasn't hard.
Okay, great. I think sometimes people don't register because it's unknown. They don't know what it's like. And so I think it's good for us to help people recognize that it's pretty easy to do. And there's lots of different ways to do it. What would you say to people who aren't sure if they want to register?
I would say to people who are not sure if they want to register or vote that everyone has a right to vote, but a long time ago, some people did not have the right to vote. And I would tell them that it will make them feel proud as an American citizen because their voice was counted in electing the leaders of the country. And I am a person with autism and I have a disability. And a lot of people with disability did not have the right to vote many years ago. My vote is my choice and my right. They can go to the Rev Up website to get information or call the ARC of Illinois and ask to speak to someone that can help them get registered to vote.
Well, thank you for sharing on that. I have some more questions about um, specifically for voting. What motivates you to vote? I know that it's important to you because that's something we've talked about in the past, but why is it important for you?
Oh, why? Oh, voting is important to me because I want to pick out the candidate I think is best for America. I want to make sure that I vote for the person who believes in the policy and what they say they are going to do to improve America.
Great. And how do you decide when there are candidates out there? How do you figure out who's the one that represents you best?
I vote based on what people stand for, and I listen to see what they want to do if they are elected president. I didn't vote for candidates who want to cut benefits to people or talk about or make fun of people with disabilities.
That's really important. When you are looking for that, do you mostly watch things on like the television or news? Do you look online? Are there any special places that you get your information from?
Okay, I get information from the local news, CNN, and the internet. When I look up the candidates, I, I look at the candidates' website so I can see if they are telling the truth about what they believe in. I don't like that Trump cut Medicaid and SNAP benefits for people who need services. Some people with autism and other disability can't find a job or they cannot work because they have disability. And now they're going to have fewer benefits and won't be able to get enough food or health care because Medicaid cuts. And that is not right.
Thank you for sharing that. I know there's a lot of us that are calling and telling our legislators about that, and it's really making a huge impact on a lot of us. So thanks for bringing that up. It's one that really hits hard for me too. Do you know if there's any obstacles that prevent people that you know from voting?
Sometimes people don't vote. I mean, some people don't register to vote in enough time to vote in the election. They also might have trouble if they don't have the proper identification or they might be confused because they don't know how to vote or who to vote for. If they want to know more information to register to vote, they can go to the Rev Up website. Let's say people who don't vote can mean that a candidate can win or lose. So the more people who vote, the more chance we have for the right candidate to win. If people don't vote in a disability community or people with autism, that means our candidate can lose and our rights won't be protected.
Thank you for sharing that. I know some people that really don't think that their vote matters. And so for whatever reason, they choose not to vote. And I like how you've just emphasized how it really is important because the more of us that do, the more chance the things that are important to us are um, heard and they address that. So thank you for that. Do you believe that certain groups of people face more barriers to registering or casting a ballot?
I believe people with disabilities can face barriers because people think some people are not smart enough to vote, but everyone should be able to vote if they want to.
Thank you. William, is there anything that you do with you, your friends, your family when you're voting, um, to encourage people to vote or to celebrate that you're voted? Do you have any special traditions or anything?
I would like to wear the voted sticker because it makes me feel proud that I voted. I always take a picture of myself at the voting station with my sticker and send it with my family group chat. My family sent pictures to the group chat with their stickers, and we say, I voted. And that makes us feel proud as a family that we all voted. I also sent pictures to my friends to let them know I voted and to see if they voted.
So, William, how regularly do you vote? Do you vote in every election?
I vote in the president's election and the mayor's election. I voted in all presidential elections.
Great, thank you. I think a lot of times people forget about our local elections, and I have been reading more and more how important the local ones are because they can impact our lives just as much as the presidential ones. So, thanks for sharing that. What do you think about your experiences with voting? Do you have any that stand out to you?
One voting experience I want to talk about is what I do to prepare to vote before the election. First, I check the internet for the voting website to see where I'm supposed to vote. Sometimes they change the location, so I enter my address into the system and they tell me the location along with the dates and times I can vote. I always look it up the candidate to see if I looked up bio. I look to see if they support people with disabilities and if I agree with their approach to employment, housing, and healthcare in the United States. I talk to my family, like my mom, grandparents, and cousins, about issues, and I decided how I wanted to vote. I used to vote on election day, and now I participate in early voting due to my work schedule. I go to early voting sometime to avoid the long lines, and so I don't miss the opportunity to vote because I work 12 to I work 12 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. When I go to the voting booth, I can ask for help if I need it. They ask, they ask you if you want to vote it electronically or with the paper ballot. I use the electronic and sometimes paper if the electronic ballot is not working. Sometimes I don't vote for the judges because it's hard to read all their bios. My mom says a lot of people skip the judges, but it's important to vote for as many people as you can. I vote, and then I get the I vote sticker, and that's it.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. I I'm also like you, William. Sometimes I don't vote for the judges because I don't know a lot about them. But as I've been doing some more research the last couple of months, I found out some places to learn more about the judges. So if you like, I can send you that and see if it's something that will help you with some of your get information if you want to. But I'm with you. I don't want to vote if I don't know anything about them. But I really
Hmm.
liked hearing about how you go about it. I think that can really help us all to, especially people who aren't familiar with it, to feel more comfortable. That was awesome. So is there anything else that I might have missed or anything else that you've thought of that you want to share?
You mean like anything else about register and voting that I want to say to my people?
Yes.
Yes. Voting is really important to me because I knew that Black people could not vote because of the color of the skin until the Voting Rights Act in 1965. I want my vote to count just like anyone else. When anyone else gets to vote is a fair election. Sometimes your candidates will not win, but voting makes me feel like my voice was heard in an election. Win or lose, I feel very proud to vote.
Thank you. Well, I'm really proud to vote alongside you, and I'm really, really thankful that you shared all of what you had to say with us today. I think it's important to get that information out there, and I know that it's going to make a difference for people just to hear other people, to hear you talk about your experiences. So thanks for sharing that.